Da, 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 da. Da, ba, 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 ba. Evening, everyone. Hold on. I'm really nervous today. I don't know why. The sun's been shining. Guys in chat, you know me. I don't know you. Anyway, the show must go on. So today, it's all about Aztec. I haven't opened up the book, just to let you know. So we shall do that sometime during the live stream. But something a little bit different. I've been working with some intros and stuff like that. So let's get started. Welcome on in, everyone.
Aliens and UFOs are often associated with Roswell, but this weekend, a city in the Four Corners is also making its mark on alien research. Arissa Nakano reports from Aztec, where the alien gathering is already underway.
People that want to go out to the crash site will be coming down this way.
It's not your typical hike. This weekend, people can take a walk to a site in Aztec where some researchers say a UFO crashed in March of 1948, just 9 months after the Roswell incident.
It's a lot of fun. I've been interested in this since I was a teenager, and so it's fun to be involved.
It's a part of Aztec's 13th annual UFO symposium. Researchers and visitors from across the country are gathering to talk about the alleged alien encounters and sightings.
I thought it would be fun to come out here and see what we could see as far as what the UFO crash site is.
Buying a ticket to the event helps raise money for the local library. The event brings in about $5,000 each year.
People are welcome to come out and walk around.
In Aztec, Arissa Nakano, Eyewitness News 4.
Welcome on in, everyone. And welcome back to Alien Addict. Hold on. Wait a second. Yes, the music's still going. Hey. Everyone, welcome back to Alien Addict. I want to say a special welcome to everyone who's joining me, and especially to our new listeners as well. So this is the show where we give diverse research and opinions on a lot of different topics, and nothing is off limit to our mysteries, the unexplained, or our pursuit for the truth, as one would say. So we urge you to do your own research and always come to your own conclusion on the materials I shall present on any show that I do on Alien Addict, really. So as we're all adults, we need to sort of take the good with the bad, you know, don't stick down to an echo chamber. Make sure you sort of smooth things out and come to a rational conclusion. Let's put this music down a little bit. I heard that was something a bit different. Yeah, man. I hope everyone's having a good week. I can see I've made a new friend. Do you like my new friend? His name, well, it's a she. I just found out just a minute ago. This was taken the other day. I called her Roxy. She's been turning up. She's there right now looking at me. She wants her food. I already bloody fed her. I feed her all the scraps anything that my cat don't eat, like chicken. I mean, obviously I'm a meat eater, so anything like that will be given to the fox. And she's been coming every single day. And I'm not joking. I've got a video here. Look how close she comes to me. Look at this. Isn't that cool? Yeah, so I got a pet fox. She's lovely. I got to be really careful because, I don't say they got like rabies or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? It's a beautiful fox. And how many times does anybody in England actually come close to a fox? And she's very, very nice. So her name's Roxy, so she might make a special appearance at some point during the show. Where am I? There we go. Hey, welcome on in, everyone. Let's get on to chat. So yeah, I'm just experimenting at that moment, just trying to. I keep on listening to like podcasts, like live shows, and they have like the music going in through the intro, and I thought, let's just try that. But with StreamYard, it's pretty crap. Oh, and another thing, I need to double check. Am I live on Rumble? Yeah, I'm right. Okay. So yeah, if you go to Investigate with Nick, and the people that are in Rumble at the moment, hello. It's my first live stream on the channel. It's just a bit of a test run because I can actually put the live show out to different platforms. So I'm trying Rumble this time. So I'll everyone Investigate with Nick. So yeah, you're probably wondering who's that bloody twat waffle who puts all those time-lapse videos out. Is this guy right here? Right here, yes. And we'll get to Rumble because I'm going to start doing it more because there's one thing I've noticed. I'll get to chat in a minute. You know me, guys. I cannot stop talking about. Wait for it. Try and find it. Blah. Okay, you know me. I've got 8 minutes until I can't say that word. So I noticed with YouTube, do not like that topic, even though it's not technically a conspiracy theory anymore, really, when you look at it. But the views, I mean, how many views on a YouTube channel that gets like 15 views? And it's been out for like over a year. Do you know what I mean? It's like something doesn't make sense. And I do a lot of these trail analysis videos, like did it block out the sun? And the weatherman said, different sort of parts for me really analyzing the skies. And YouTube are like, no. So I'm going to start going live on Rumble, put more videos out on Rumble. I have to move away from YouTube. I know with like the new Trump administration and stuff like that, you expect like a bit miracles, a bit more free speech, but YouTube is owned by Google. You know what I mean? So you ain't going to get any truth out of that. But nevertheless, let's get through chat. So John Stokes, how's it going, man? Rotary. Rotary, have you changed the name? Rotary Matrix. I thought it was Motion at some point. But yeah, liking the name, man. Liking the name. We've got One True Saxon. Hey, man. Hey, this was supposed to be a Vladimir Tazinski episode, but I think that's going to be next week. It's a German flying saucer one next week. I might splice in probably a quiz into that. But yeah, thanks for turning up, man. The Aztec, yes, don't worry. I haven't even opened the book yet. I'm going to switch the camera around so you can get like a bird's eye view of me opening up the book for the first time. But yeah, thanks for coming in, man. And yeah, it's a great topic. It's actually, in terms of, we'll get to it. But thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. Hey, Rebecca, how's it going, man? Man, I didn't mean to call you man, sister. How's it going? I'll call Bell's cats. Nice to see you. Who else have we got on here? Oh, here's another one. Chuck's Last Chin. How's it going, man? Unfortunately, I don't do Discord yet. I was thinking about doing Discord. All that sort of stuff, man, is kind of new to me. But I know the Daily Conspiracy Podcast got a pretty decent Discord. So yeah, go check them out, man. Let's have a little look. Anyone else I've missed in chat? No, I think that's it. Oh, shoot, Pop. How's it going? Yeah, all good on Rumble. Yeah, I've just checked. So yeah, we'll see the viewings. We shall see the viewings. So let's get started today. Let's bring up videos. Well, I'm showing a lot of videos today, and a lot of, well, it's in terms of information. Okay, this is, hold on, where is it to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I tell you what, just bring that up instead. Let's just do that. Makes it easier. Yeah, this is one of the situations. This is not a real photograph, by the way, as you gathered. One of these cases that I have heard about, but not necessarily done a lot of research into it because I kind of treat it like the Roswell. Now, I've done so much research years ago onto Roswell case, and I'd quite like to pick it up again with, like, especially with Hidden Underbelly, which, by the way, he went live without me yesterday. I'm joking. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm not offended. Don't worry. It's probably a bit of a shock for you guys. Like, where's Cosmic Nick? Or Nazi Nick, as one would say. But, it was a good dropping show. But anyway, it's his own bloody channel. So I'm not offended one bit. But I'd like to do a show on Roswell on Hidden Underbelly's channel at some point. Now, the Aztec goes in the same sort of line because this was the first UFO crash. Okay, I need to explain how things are going to go with this. But in terms of, I was thinking about that, Rotary, at some point. I'm just getting my head around it. StreamYard's added a new feature where you can add new destinations. So I'm not really tech savvy when it comes to that sort of stuff. So, hey, Sandy, how's it going? Might be a good streaming. Yes, a lot of people do get a lot of views on that. I have to admit, I'll do that for next week, actually. Hey, Hammers, how's it going, man? Welcome on in. But yeah, I might try X. Might try it. Hey, John P. Adventures. I was trying to figure the name then. How's it going, man? Yeah, look, okay. This is a bit like... I don't want to treat it like the Montauk Project or the Philadelphia experiment. I don't want to have that attitude when I did a live stream on Hidden Underbelly. I thought it was a bit naive of me. I have to admit I'm struggling mentally at the moment, guys. So it does affect a lot of like part of ufology. Just thinking like there's no hope. But I would have to agree. I'm 50-50 on this, Rebecca, when in terms of what's fake. Now, the information I've been looking online, because bear in mind, the book I've got here, which I'll open up in a minute, let's just go through the Aztec crash first of all. Is that the fact that the information online that I'm coming across seems to be a lot of debunks, a lot of skeptic, that sort of information. Yeah, that goes with the territory with Google. Of course, you're going to get... Is it fake and gay? We should get if it's fake and gay, brother. Welcome on, man. Do you know what? If you asked me yesterday to come onto the show for Pop and Show, I couldn't have done it, mate. I was so busy yesterday. But yeah, it's good to see you on your own, man. It's hard, isn't it? Fucking hard. But yeah, me and Hidden, we're going live this Wednesday, come in, talking about Aleister Crowley, which I'm having weird nightmares doing research into it. And happy 420. Yes, I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, in terms of like what information I'm coming across, not a lot. I have to admit, I've been looking at videos. In terms of like documentation, there isn't really much to go on. Yes, the Scully report, we'll get to that. I'm going to show videos first of all. So I'm coming into this as very new because, like I said, I've heard of the Aztec UFO crash, but I haven't really gone into like a deep dive into it. Hence why I got the book. Now I need to explain the book first of all. Or should I tell you what? Should we just go through the Aztec? Let's get my notes out of the way first, because I'm going to show you how much this is one of the most expensive books in ufology. And I think it's bloody disgusting how people try to rip money out of people in such a really hard time, especially in England. But I'm actually getting for a bargain of a deal. Yes. So anyway, right, Aztec. The Aztec. So what is that all about, mate? What the hell is all that about? So the Aztec, much love, brother. Much love. Yeah, Iden, if you're still there, give us a shout. Like the day before, because I need to liaise with you in terms of information. All right. So yeah, that'd be cool if you can do that, brother. So yeah, the Aztec UFO crash. Obviously, this was long before Roswell, which came into the public eye, which led obviously to the most UFO crash in ufology, which we're talking about Roswell. But before that, you had the Aztec crash, and this was the first crash of all UFO stories. This was obviously based in New Mexico. So the tale of the 1948 crash, that a flying saucer crashed in New Mexico in the county or country called Aztec. I don't think I might got that wrong. On board, apparently there were 14 to 18 bodies that actually came from the UFO crash itself. And obviously, they had a recovery personnel was ordered to recover the flying saucer. And this was done under the highest of secrecy by the US military. Now, the timeline of the Aztec reported that there was oil field workers little after 5 a.m. on March the 25th, 1948, where the first reports came in of like a large bushfire on this mesa, I do apologize, yes, the mesa off the Hart Canyon Road. As the oil field workers went out to actually locate the site of the fire, they discovered a large disc. Now, this was approximately 100 feet in diameter, sitting on top of a mesa. This had nothing to do with the bushfire because the oil dip tanks out there at the time and the people at the El Paso Oil Company were notified of the bushfire and should get out there to obviously investigate the fire because obviously safety concerns in that aspect. Once on site of the crash, they noticed a large disc, like I said, on top of the mesa. The military did show up later in the afternoon or early afternoon. One local enforcement officer was warned that warned to the locals, I do apologize, I get my words mixed up here, that the military would be there eventually. So they did sort of cordon it off, and there were reports from the public in Aztec that they were restricted from this area. Okay, so we are really relying on reports and everything like this. Okay, and at the time, okay, so this correlates to what Roswell comes into how they actually downed the UFO. Hey, John, how's it going, man? Wicked footage you took the other day. Yeah, it was actually on Hayden's show yesterday. Yeah, man, and good to have you on with me and Hayden at some point, and be good to have a little catch up, man. But yeah, happy 420, and I hope you're doing well, John. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, this Aztec crash, it's an interesting one, okay, because like I said, it kind of correlates to Roswell because it was basically 1 year apart, and the one explanation was, now this is going back, like what Rebecca was saying on the Scully report, that the UFO or the flying saucer, as I should say, that was actually downed by an experimental radar system that was actually being tested in Aztec. Like I said, just like Roswell, came to the same conclusion that what was downed, the flying saucer, was to do with the radar system being tested. There are actually documents to prove there's some kind of radar system actually being tested in the area. And these does not go into what the flying saucers craft over the radar signals. So basically what in the locations of where these radar systems were being tested was Corona, which was located in Walker. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. Yeah, because Corona is basically where Roswell is, and there was a military base there. I think it's Patterson Air Force Base. Don't think that's where the radar system was tested, but it was in the facility. So you had radar facilities around that sort of area doing tests. So again, are these just like regurgitated stories, just like Roswell? But I have to admit, looking at what came first, was it Roswell or Aztec? And technically, the story came from Aztec first, because this was in the 1950s, and then Roswell really came into fruition in, I think it was 1970s. I need to like respruce my history on that. So that's just the basic background, okay? As I say, this is like really early stages, so this might be just part one, and I might have to do like part two and everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up some videos, because they're going to explain it more than me. You know what I mean, mate? Let's go through chat. Have I missed anyone? I think that's everyone. Yeah, I'll get to chat in a minute, guys. Let's just bring. Right. Okay. I think this is the one. Yes, it is. Okay, so yes, this one is called Not a Hoax. In terms of documentaries and TV series, this is the only one that really pops up. Like I said, guys, I spent a week really researching this, knowing I was going to buy this book. I thought, do you know what? I could do an episode on Alien Addict. And I just really couldn't really find anything. And this one just kept on coming up. So I'm really basing so far what I've researched online before I get to the book, which is immensely big read, which we are really going to get into the details, into the nitty gritty, the proper investigation work. So let's bring my notes up because I've got timestamps here. And obviously I will get into the skeptic route as well, because you know me, I've got to go 50-50 on everything. So let's bring this up. I'm just going to play some clips. And I'm going to get to chat. So this guy here, I forget his name. Or should I go back and explain it? Okay. This is going to explain this sort of... I don't want to talk about the skeptic route first, but let's just go in correlation of how the story really built up, because we are started from the 1950s. Like Rebecca said, the Scully Report. Now, this was a book back in... grab notes here. So yeah, there's a guy called... Oh, do you know what? Sod it. I'm just going to play the video. It's going to explain it anyway. I've got so many notes here, and I've made so many spelling mistakes. Terrible. Right, let's start from the beginning. Okay. So the idea is that in the 1950s, there was this author named Scully. Can't remember what his last name was. I think that is his last name. Brought out a book in the 1950s, early 1950s, called... Oh my God, I've got to find it here. Okay, so yeah, Behind the Flying Saucers, which was the first tales of the stories of Aztec. And yeah, so it's all really based upon a book from the 1950s. Let's start off this, because I'm going to be rambling otherwise.
Report from the oil field workers a little after 5 a.m. on March
20th. Okay. I think it's this. Right.
That they had been notified.
Aztec is a fascinating case because it was the original, if you will, crash flying saucer story. And it surfaced first in 1949 in columns written by Frank Scully in the Daily Variety. It ultimately led to a best-selling book that Scully wrote, and
hey, Bob.
I think it sold something on the order of 60,000 copies in 1950 in hardcover, and then it went on to 12 editions overseas, and on and on and on. I mean, it was remarkable how successful it was. It's obvious he struck some kind of real chord. It was also total nonsense. And Scully was either one of these fellows who knew enough not to ask questions he didn't want to hear the answers to, or he was genuinely duped by a fellow named Silas Newton and a sidekick of his named Leo Gebauer, who became known as Dr. G in Scully's book.
As a video creator, our biggest
I forgot ad blocker.
Something that takes up a lot of time.
Go away, Rudley.
In Frank Scully's book, Behind the Flying Saucers, which came out in 1950, he tells the Aztec.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't know that Corbell Cat. I know. I would have thought so. Scully, Mulder and Scully. Oh, what's her name? Dana Scully. That's it. Yeah, could be, mate. Could be.
Story as told to him by Silas Newton and Leo Gebauer. Silas Newton and Leo Gebauer then introduced Frank Scully to at least 8 scientists that allegedly worked on the Aztec crash. Frank Scully took these 8 people and molded them into one Dr. G. The skeptics like to attack the story if they haven't researched it and say that Dr. G was Leo Gebauer. Leo Gebauer was no more a scientist than anybody. He was an electrical engineer that worked with Silas Newton. More of a glorified electrician more than electrical engineer. Frank Scully in his book plainly states that Dr. G is up to 8 scientists that worked on the recovered UFO at Aztec.
Okay.
Essentially, these 2 guys were...
Okay, so what you got so far, that Frank Scully brought out a book, and he claims in this book that he encountered 8 scientists that were involved with the Aztec crash. And that is where he gets his stories from. Obviously, he printed it in his book called Behind the Flying Saucer, 1950s. It was actually quite a very popular book. Actually sold 60,000 copies, which was pretty good back then, in the 1950s. So you can see where the story started to come from. Okay, so this was before Roswell, which is actually quite surprising. So this is obviously a debunker, clearly, but you get to see the people the two people, which was Leo, I forgot his bloody his last name. So Leo and Newton, Leo and Newton, basically two con men, and they're the one that fed the information to Frank Scully in regards of the Aztec crash. So it really is based upon trust me, bros. Do you know what I mean? Like do you know what, when you look at like ufology as a whole, it really is based upon like is trust me, bros. Okay, I'm going to say that very nicely. You know, I'm not saying that's fake. You know, but we need to be a bit skeptical. But anyway, this guy's a skeptic, and we've got to listen to his opinions. You know, diverse research. You know, it's what we're talking about on Alien Addict.
Con men who were in the process of trying to peddle a doodle bug, which is an oil and gas industry tag for a device that will find oil and gas, but of course doesn't. And in his case, it was a machine that not only found oil and gas, but gold and water and pretty much anything the Mark was interested in finding. And on top of that, Gebauer had invented something similar, which also supposedly could assess the health of a person. So this was sort of an all-in-one, do-it-all kind of thing. But what they did, which was unusual and made their little bit unique, was that they claimed that their doodle bug was better than anybody else's because it was using technology that had been taken from the flying saucer that allegedly crashed.
Hey, how's it going, man? How's it going?
And therefore, obviously, it was far superior. Dr. G, our friend Gebauer, was supposedly a magnetics expert who was one of those called in by the Air Force when the saucer was tracked to ground near Aztec, where it floated to ground, not actually crashed, and presumably disabled by a high-powered radar somewhere nearby. Such was the claim. Anyhow, the whole thing was a total con job. And it was quickly recognized as such and then really exposed in detail in 1952 by J.P. Kahn. It was an investigative reporter. I think he was with the San Francisco Examiner, if I'm not mistaken. And he did a 4 or 5 month investigation in detail, including managing to con the con man.
All right, shut up. Just shut up, would you? Okay, so as you can see, and this seems to be such a recurring thing on the internet, a lot of debunks. I'm not joking, like 95% is just debunk. It's crazy. So yeah, I really want to get into the nitty and gritty of this. Let's just skip forward because we have Stanton Freeman, the man himself. I'd love to do an episode on him. There we go. So let's listen to what Stanton Freeman has to say. God rest his soul.
I think the fact that those files are still classified might be the result of two quite different things. One is that they really were involved in some stuff and had some information that for whatever reason they agreed not to talk about, but the FBI pressured them and so forth. That's certainly a possibility. Another is the general FBI attitude, the old J. Edgar Hoover attitude about keeping track of people and getting files and, having power over them. And I don't know which it was. Newton was sharp, no question about that. Whether he stumbled across some things that he shouldn't have stumbled across, I don't know.
A number of FBI documents make it very clear that the FBI and the Air Force at the time were following Newton and Gebauer very, very closely.
Yeah, I remember watching the X-Files. I was quite late to the game on when I actually really started watching it. I remember I think it finished on season 9 or 10. And the last 2 seasons, I have to admit, Rebecca, were pretty blur. Even probably before then, because I remember, David left, didn't he? And you had the guy from the Terminator. I forgot his bloody name now. But yeah. But otherwise, the early seasons are pretty damn good, man, and quite relevant actually to today. Okay, let's bring up some testimonies because I want to open up this book. So, what does it say here? Testimonies. 3024. Let's do this.
Incidents. No matter how much the skeptics might tell you otherwise.
Let's do a comparison of Roswell and Aztec. Roswell made the front page of many, many newspapers across the country. we had an intelligence officer who was given the release to go ahead and release the information to the press, later retracting it the next day. Aztec, we may have one newspaper article that made it out that has conveniently disappeared out of the archives. You hear the argument, we don't have eyewitnesses at Aztec. Well, we didn't have eyewitnesses 4 or 5 years ago. We have eyewitnesses now. Unfortunately, some are deceased.
Yeah, apparently,
one key eyewitness
I've heard a reboot of that.
He's
Yeah.
deceased now, was Doug Nolan. Grew up in the Four Corners area. At 19 years of age, worked for the El Paso Oil Company. Was in his truck that day. That
Tell you
over
what.
the radio.
Okay, as this is playing, because we're 30 minutes in, I've just given, this is just like a brief background of testimonies and everything, because like I said, there wasn't really a lot to go on until I do like a proper deep dive into everything. So what I'm going to do is take a swig of my tea. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to officially open the Aztec book. Okay. In fact, let's just go through eBay, because I need to show you how expensive this book is. So let's get rid of that for a moment. And let's bring up. Yeah, the new X-Files apparently I was going to say that. Yeah, I couldn't figure the bloody word. But I fucking brain fart then. Yeah, like woke. I don't know if they actually changed the characters into like ethnic minorities or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they barely did, to be honest with you, you know. But I hope they learn a lesson not to. Why reboot it? I don't know what plan forward they're going to go with it. I reckon because you have the good dynamic with Mulder and Scully, with them two, because obviously Scully was more skeptic and Mulder was the true believer, and you had the two sort of in a way sort of rationally battling it out with each other. I mean, eventually Scully changes her mind, but now I reckon probably most likely they're going to go down like a skeptic route or crap on a subject. I'd be interested to see what they do with like the UFO topic, especially like today's day and age. I'll be interested to see what happens with that. But yeah, I fucking know. Why reboot it is the other thing. I thought they made new ones anyway. Didn't they make like a new season? I remember seeing that like 5 years ago and all that. Yeah, go check out John, guys. Real. I'll bring up the link in a minute. I'll stick it in chat. Florida Real UFOs. I think that's the your channel. I know that is your channel there. Your name. That's your name's right there, John. What an idiot. That's what happens when you're 420, mate. Yeah, go check out John's channel, man. He's really got some good content on there. Really, really good stuff. Oh no, bad news. Anything to do with Disney turns to shit, Bob. You know, he's like, I'll watch it just to see. Scully will be black trapped. Have one leg. Oh man, just from the woke aspect, I'm really curious to see what they do with it. It's like Doctor Who. So they had the male, they had the women, they got the black guy. I guarantee it's going to be like an Indian or Chinese. I honestly, it's like, this is the BBC that we're talking about. Oh yeah, and by the way, the BBC just really pisses me off. They sent me an email saying, "Oh, we're just reviewing the TV license. Do you watch this, this, and this?" And I go, "No, no, 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 and no." And they still come back and go, "No, you actually still owe us money." And they put like a little red box with red letters, threatening letters, going, "Oh yeah, we'll take you to court if you don't pay." I was like, "Fucking do not come and threaten me," because I found some dirty stuff, some really nasty stuff on what children in need were actually doing, hiding PDF files. Another word for pet. You get that? You know, the people that the BBC been protecting. I'm going off on one, man. Oh man, bloody wokeness. Really, I tell you what. I just say one thing. I got an elderly client. I think she's like 80. She's 85 years old, little old lady, and really, really posh. You know, lives in a lovely bungalow, and her name's Jill. And she goes, "Oh, Nick." And it was the first thing, you know. I think she's just first thing I saw her, and I said, "Hi, my name's Nick. I'm the gardener." She goes, "Oh, Nick, do you know what? I'm sick of this wokeness." And I'm like, Me and you, we're going to get on fine. We've been like best mates since. Yes. I think it's disgusting how they treat people. Well, see, I'm going off on one. I'm going off on one. So what am I doing? Right, book. We leave that to the end of the show where I can have my little rants and I can shadow band Alien Addict even more. Okay, like it is. Right, where is eBay? There it is. Okay, so it just goes to show. Let's bring up a bit bigger. Always deny that. Okay, so these are the only ones on eBay. Okay, now these are from America. Yes, I agree, John. Disney can suck it, especially what they did with Star Wars. Terrible. So as you can see, this is the book I purchased, and obviously, well, that one's from England, okay, and that one's from America because obviously the posting package, and it says from the United States. So this one doesn't have the cover on it. So this is $224.27 because obviously America. So you are looking about 170 quid, £270 is sent over, including postage and package. Now, this one I thought absolutely takes the piss. So is it showing up? No, it's not. Okay. In that case, I can do that, and that. Look, this is what I mean. What it just pisses me off when people just really try and milk it for what it's worth. Do you know what I mean? Look at the price of this. £465.72. Man, are you taking the piss? And it's got 6 viewers, so that's 6 watchers, and it never sells. Okay, so this is the original book, and I've been looking for this book. Oh, that one there, brilliant. Okay, right, that's next on the list. Right, I should save that. Okay, that's the next one I want to get. Yeah, so as you can see, these books are a lot of money. So I've been looking for this book for about 5-7 years, something like that. And I managed to find it on eBay. Hey, how's it going? WAF 007. How's it going? I just call you 007, mate. How's it going? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Yeah, you should scan that. Yes, I could 007 pull it on archive. I haven't checked on that. Is it? Yeah, archive.org. I should probably do that. It's a big book, man. It's a big, thick book, as we'll get to it in a minute. So yeah, I saw this for, it was £85. Okay, £85, and it had 6 watchers, and I forgot to bid on it, and it ended, and it didn't sell. So I messaged the buyer. I says, look, if I chuck you 90 quid, would you send it to me? And eventually he said yes. I thought, fucking boom, bang. And let alone, it came yesterday, and it's finally here. Now, this is the book. I haven't opened it. Now, somebody is really immature and draw a penis with a arrow saying UFO pointed to it. Now, that's just immature. Who did that? So, right. So what I'm going to do. Such an idiot, honestly. Well, like my missus says, grow up, Nick. Nah, she would find that funny. Right, let's bring up this and just listen to some more testimonies, because I need to turn the camera around so you can see me open this up live, and we're going to go through the book. We're not going to read it, but we're just going to go through the pages so you can see what I go through when I buy these books, okay? Is it unboxing stream? Yes, right, Bob. It certainly is. So just give me a minute, and I'll just got to turn the camera around. All right. So let's click play.
They had an old Motorola radio in the truck, traveling with his boss, Bill Ferguson. They were called on the radio to get out to Hart Canyon because of the brush fire, the infamous brush fire we hear about. Upon arriving at the crash site, they were told by other workers the brush fire is on one side. They were worried about a drip tank getting ignited in the brush fire. Upon arrival there, other oil field workers told them that it's not the brush fire you got to see what's laying up on the mesa. Doug went on to tell us all the locals that were there, the 2 police officers that were there, his boss, Bill Ferguson, who's probably deceased, although we're still looking for him. I had the luxury of interviewing Doug back about October of 2003, and he passed away December 7th. That we have an eyewitness. We have a deathbed confession. Doug had had 6 strokes from June until October. He was very slow and methodical in recalling the incident and appeared to be very credible in the interview. In the late 90s, early 2000, we were contacted by a gentleman, Ken Farley from Bat Cave, Arizona. And Ken wanted to talk to us. He was in very bad health. Randy Barnes and I met down in
definitely,
Phoenix.
John.
Rented a car, drove up.
I am
interviewed
saving.
Ken
I'd love
for
to go to
probably
like
3 hours and took very good
Contact in the
notes.
desert
Ken was
at some point. But
very
yeah, let's
ill,
go to Florida,
on
man.
oxygen. He has since passed away.
I'm just
Ken
420.
told his side of the story that he was in Durango, passing through to San Diego, fresh out of the military. Met a friend in Cedar Hill, a drop-off point where he was to pick him up and keep traveling to San Diego. His friend told him there was a lot of commotion going on out on Hart Canyon Road, and they thought an aircraft had gone down. Ken and his friend got to the crash site and walked out to the western side of where the disc was. And at that point, a group of people from Aztec, the oil field.
Hey, we've got a new one. Hey, Gustova UFO, how's it going, man? Welcome on in. I think you do. Yeah, love the name, mate. Love the name. Yeah, get ready. I'm just gonna quickly 420, and let's do it.
People, 2 law enforcement officers showed up. We're already actually at the scene. And we found Ken's story believable, but we had a hard time digesting the 2 police officers. We figured today if you were out there and you called 911, you'd be lucky to get one in a reasonable time.
All right, okay. That's just some testimonies there, guys. What button do I put it? Right, okay. So stupid. Right, okay. I'll tell you what, let's put it on full screen, which is, no, not that one. Oh my God, what's what? There we go. Right, fantastic. So as you can see, this is what I go through pretty much every month when I get paid. I will buy at least a couple of books just to add to my collection. I'm trying to build my collection up, like especially like old books and like old materials, especially like rare books, because I think me being a researcher, I like to go through old material. I like to go find the original material. And before we had the internet, obviously we had books like this. Okay, so yeah, this is another one to the collection. So let's open it up. Getting all excited now, so let's see if you can see it. Okay, let's do that. You can see it. So I can't move the camera back anymore, unfortunately. That's it. Right, let's do that. Brilliant. Okie dokie. So this is definitely worth having in your book collection, especially when you're dealing with ufology. Look at that. Woo! Brilliant. Right, chat over there. So this is like a special occasion, okay? I'll do this because, like I said, I've been looking at this book for quite a number of years. Oh my God, it's actually in really good condition. God, don't bloody rip it, Nick. Okay, bring it up nice and slowly. Thank God for that. Both, ladies and gentlemen, a very rare book to have on one of the most strangest cases, the UFO crash at Aztec. So this is the original book, and I'm so bloody thrilled I got it. So yeah, who is the author of this? Okay, so Rendell C. Stevens. Now that guy is connected to obviously Billy Meyer and stuff like that. It's actually in really good condition. It's actually really good. Okay, let's just go through. Make sure so you can see it. Just bring that over here like that. Okay. So you can see how big it is. It's how many pages is it? Yeah, it's over 625. And it's actually documents. Oh, that's good then. So see what I mean? This is what I like. I like to see documentation. And this is what I want to go through next week, okay? Because we want to go through this. Oh, hold on. Oh my God, that's a Majestic 12 document. Ooh, hold on. Yeah, actually, that looks familiar. Okay, we'll go for it. But yeah, this is what I mean. It's finding at least some sort of tangible evidence, not relying on the internet for information. This is going to take me ages to read. But as you can see, it is a lengthy book. Interesting. Okay. Well, there we go. People are like, that's pretty boring, Nick. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. I thought it'd be like something special. But yeah, this is, like I said, this is a very rare book to have for I wouldn't consider myself a ufologist, but I do like to study the history of ufology. And that requires, obviously, research and buying books. But this is interesting. Okay, well, that's good. All right, well, you can see through the pages. If we do that Chinese thing, have you seen the Chinese people when they just go like that and they've like read the page and they go to another one and they go like that? I read it. Yeah, I read it. Have you seen it? I'm not joking. That's a real thing in China. But yeah, there we go. Okay, so all of that, that's the Avro car, what it was supposed to actually look like. Interesting. Okay, all right, that's it. There we go, guys. So give me a couple of shows, because next week I want to do Vladimir Tazinski and stuff like that. Oh, that's good, John. That's good. That's good. Yeah, like I said, because this, guys, you will not find it online. Okay, in terms of like the pages and everything, you know, it's. I mean, you could have a little look on archive right now, but this, I doubt someone's actually printed it off or scanned 625 pages. So, yeah, this is the first time looking at this book, the UFO crash at Aztec. Like I said, it's a rare book, very expensive, but I got it for a really decent price. So there we go, guys. There we go. So thumbs up, AI, lovely. I'm gonna switch it around in a minute. Hold on. Let's bring up something first. Now, remember, I always say that with the internet, the birth of the internet, and how the fact that, oh God, such a dickhead! I clicked the bloody wrong button. What an idiot. So the internet's a marvelous thing. It's a marvelous tool to get information. But however, once you start doing deep dives into certain topics, especially conspiracy theory, and even when it comes to like UFOs and that sort of topic, you get videos that tend to essentialize the stories. Now, what I'm about to show you here is something I probably would have done if I was a teenager. Okay. You can see the stories and claims and everything gets a bit too far-fetched. But anyway, it's entertainment. It's just a short clip. Well, it's probably about 5 minutes. Well, it was 11 minutes long. Okay, never mind. Just got to switch the camera around. But yeah, listen. Love the music. There we go. Yeah, I could do Rebecca, if you can hear me. That music's bloody terrible.
Hi, I'm here in Aztec, New Mexico, catching up on some reading in Frank Scully's 1950 book, Behind the Flying Saucers. Here in Aztec, they hold an annual UFO symposium, and it's been held since 1997 in late March as a benefit for the Aztec Public Library. Incidentally, 1997 is the 50th anniversary of the supposed crash of an alien spacecraft in Roswell, New Mexico. Now, this Aztec UFO symposium is a 2-day event. And in the past, they've had guest speakers such as Stanton Friedman, Ted Phillips, Dr. Jesse Marcel Jr., Scott Ramsey, Travis Walton, Linda Moulton Howe, Carl Flock, Jim Mars, and the band UFOetry. You may wonder what all this excitement is about UFOs in Aztec, New Mexico, in the far northwestern part of the state. Well, Francis Joseph Xavier Scully was a writer for Daily Variety magazine in the late 1940s. It was more or less an entertainment magazine of the day. And he'd had a hard life. He lost a leg to shrapnel in World War I. He'd lost a lung to tuberculosis and also suffered osteomyelitis. But he wound up meeting a prospector named Silas Newton, who in turn introduced him to a geophysicist and supposed expert in magnetic research in 1949 named Leo Gebauer. Gebauer claimed to have been in on a retrieval of a flying saucer in Aztec and claimed that the reason that the saucer had fallen was that it was knocked out of the sky by magneto trouble caused by radar stations here in New Mexico. Scully was looking for a story, and in 72 days he wrote Behind the Flying Saucers, one of the first flying saucer books. Depending on which version of the story you believe, either he interviewed 8 scientists and combined them into one character in the book called Dr. G, or the other version is that Leo Gebauer himself was Dr. G. The book was a bestseller, selling over 60,000 copies. According to the story, about 5 a.m. on March 28, 1948, out here on Hart Canyon Road, about 12 miles out of Aztec, New Mexico, some oil field workers thought that they saw an oil fire. They came out here on the mesa to investigate, and when they got here, they found a flying saucer. Now, according to Scully, these flying saucers have been developed a long time before this one crashed out here in Hart Canyon. The Venusians thought that it was going to be a long trip here to Earth from Venus, and so they had sleeping quarters built into their spaceship. When they found out that it was a much shorter trip,
Hey, comfy sofa. How's it going?
In,
Welcome on in.
They decided to dispense with those. Now, you may wonder why Venusians would bother to come 26 million miles here to Earth from Venus. Well, it was because they wanted to investigate it.
You see where the stories just get more essentialized, you know, because I haven't even come across this information yet. It might be in this book, who knows, but you see where the stories get going with the internet. It's just, this is old, man. This is like, came out like 2010, I think.
Atomic tests that were going on at the time in the South Pacific. I'm not sure to account, though, for how they crashed 5,300 miles from Bikini Atoll if they could navigate all their way here from Venus. The military arrived that afternoon, and they secured the area in a 2-mile radius.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Well, first of all, that looks like a bloody Billy Maher UFO, but if I lived in that area, right, I would do exactly the same as this guy. I just want to be part of it. I want to be part of something. So why not make a documentary? Just a few more minutes of this, guys, and then we'll move on. All right.
Around this supposed crash site. To recover the flying saucer, they built this secret road that comes up here.
Totter down. Oh.
To this concrete slab.
Oh, you sound like possibly a local. I can't give anything away, but I know that place. I think you, Comfy Sofa, I think you are not too far, because that is literally like less than 5 miles away from me. Yeah, I think I saw you on Alien Addict years ago, I think. Yeah. Yeah, Comfy Sofa, your name rings a bell, mate. But yeah, I think you're around the neck of my woods, I think. All right, bloody hell. Okay, well, we got a fellow Bristolian. Yeah, someone from Bedminster, so to speak. Yeah, like proper Bedminster. Like, you got that thick accent. You know, sometimes it slips out now and then. People can easily tell from my accent. I sound like a bloody pirate. Me and you probably sound like flipping pirates. You know. Yeah, been here a long time. Yeah. I grew up in that sort of area. Well, I grew up in. Well, I don't live there now, obviously. I lived in grew up in Southville, Bedminster, that sort of area. And do you know D Lane Park? Could you remember D Lane Park by any chance? Comfy Sofa. I'd be interested to see. You do? I'm not from Taunton. Oh, right, I thought you were American, Benjamin. Because do you know what? When I was in, I had my haircut done yesterday, and we were talking about we just talk about the 90s because my hairdresser. I'm gonna blabble for a bit. Hold on, fuck it. Just might as well do it. Yeah. So my hairdresser, because he known me for the skate park. That's it. Yeah, the skate park, D Lane Park. So I used to hang around there when I was a kid, and obviously going through this is the 90s. And when I was having my haircut yesterday, Terry was going, what it was like back in the 90s, because my mum and dad, would not necessarily kick us out, but we would play in the street with our friends and with the neighbors. And I clearly remember that. But there was a time we were in Dean Lane Park, and it was so 90s. It was like it doesn't matter who you were, you're black, white, Asian, we're all kids. And I remember the style. It looked like flipping Fresh Prince of Bel-Air sort of look, 90s hairstyle. And I can remember it was so much fun. And I remember that time period. And obviously D Lane Park has changed a lot now. I think it's got a little bit rougher, but it was such a nostalgic thing. Even me thinking about that skate park, because if I went skating there, rollerblading and stuff like that, I don't know what it's like now because I don't live in that area. But yeah, man, I mean, times have changed. Originally from London. Oh God, I hope you're out of there now, because I've seen videos of London. It's terrible, mate. I did live in the States for 10 years ago, mate. Oh, right. Oh, fair enough. Yep, I used to jump out of third bowl on my skate and touch board, stand roof. Yes. Oh my God. Do you know what? I need to go down there. Because I used to go down the swimming pool next to Dean Lane Park. We used to have that bloody smell. Could never stand it. But yeah, Comfy Sofa. We are we're technically neighbours. I'm not telling you where I live now, because you probably found out my flipping surname. It popped up on the bloody email thing a minute ago. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, Aztec. We will get back to Aztec. I was just doing the basic background. I'm just trying to find at least some sort of information, at least some evidence, and it just seems to be stories. Yes, look, a lot of stories of ufology has come from books, and obviously, trust me, bros. But I'm gonna stay open-minded and see what happens, because like I said, this book, it's a big, fat, lengthy book, and I think it's worth going through. Definitely, even if it is fake and gay, as one would say. There you go. Let's go back to chat. Yes, we are neighbours, mate. Do you 420 by any chance? If so, you must pop round. I don't normally say that to people in chat, but yeah. You seem pleasant. You don't seem to be. There's a few people. Not naming who it is, but no, Comfy Sofa. If you do, I like one thing I love to do again is more ghost hunting. There is one place near you that I have been going for years. That I have caught a pretty good apparition. Might have it on there somewhere.
But yeah, in due course, mate, due course. But yes, we are officially neighbours. Look at that comfy sofa. You're right, London is frightening now. Fucking hell, Benjamin. Frightening is... I'll get the hell out. Do you know what? Living in Bristol, we get a lot of people from London. In fact, one of my best mates who lived in... around the corner from me from my parents' place in Southfield, pretty much everyone in that street, I think it was called Greville Street in Bedminster, is just all Londoners, literally all Londoners. In fact, Bedminster, that sort of area, that little strip is all from London. They're all Londoners coming in. It's crazy. And to be honest with you, I don't blame them. You know what I mean? People in America have no idea what we're talking about. We're talking about territories here. Yeah. That's fine, mate. Let's go back to UFOs. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I had a BMX as well. That's what I did, Rebecca, when I was a kid. Just went out and I took my bike everywhere. Yeah, it was such a nostalgic time. That's why every time I ride my bike, it kind of like feels nostalgic. I feel like a kid again. You know, I never wear a helmet. People say to me, says, why don't you wear a helmet? It's every time I see a bike, a cyclist or anything like that, I'm just like, look, I'm not going 1,000 miles an hour. You know, I'm not going absolutely ridiculous speed. Just want to go for a bike ride, you know, chill, relax, 420, you know, just take it easy. Enjoy the sights, you know. Oh, Benjamin, you got to. How can you not? Yes, one true Saxon. Yeah, I don't like to drink, but I wouldn't be surprised if people do, especially in this day and age, especially in England. It's yeah. There's one thing it gets me down, mate, and I'm sorry if you can hear me slurping. I do apologise. When I was on Hidden's show, remember I was a bit eggy and all that. Look, I'm not making excuses, but it sort of comes to a point now where everything like gets a bit too much. Now I like to go down deep dives into conspiracies. I like that, especially with the trails. Now we're over an hour now. Chemtrails don't. If I see it really, really bad, I don't get affected by it. You know, I find it more interesting, more an investigation for me. I quite like it, really, to be honest with you. I know people get upset about that, you know, because their sun's been blocked out, which is understandable. It's totally understandable. But it's like the hardcore conspiracies, you know, the pizza and all that, you know, there's things, I mean, some of them, it's just go, it gets so dark. And when you're consuming that on a daily basis, I think eventually it just crept up. And the fact that the way England is going at the moment, I've kind of just like lost hope. And now when I look at ufology, when I had that, when Matt was on from Terrestrial Materials, when I had a conversation with him, I'm going, well, ufology, like current day, it's just been overtaken by the intelligence agency. And I don't think we're going to get any sort of truth. I really don't think so. That hope aspect is gone. RFK Jr., who said he was going to stop the chemtrailing, and then he admitted that they're most likely just jet engine smoke. And it's like the hope aspect is starting to take a toll, and it puts me in a really shitty mood. And sometimes it does show. It does show. Like, I don't mean it. I think a lot of people are kind of on edge at the moment. So I'm sort of taking time back into focus on what's important. For instance, I mean, I enjoy doing research into UFOs, you know, and I think buying this book, and I haven't bought a book in a while, sort of got me back into the mood again. Says, no, let's do research, you know, just to go back into what you love, because, you know, ufology is kind of feels nostalgic for me, because I've always been into UFOs and aliens since I was a kid. I mean, that is one thing that I can remember. Like, me and my dad used to watch every single documentary, every single program on UFOs and aliens, even like to the paranormal. So that was always been in my family psyche since I was a kid. So buying these books kind of feels like nostalgic, like, let's get into the nitty gritty. And that's sort of taken my mind off the crap in the world. And when I was having a conversation with my hairdresser, I was like, Terry, is like, I says, how do you cope with it? He says, look, we know what's going on. You just have to ignore it. But I said, yeah, but you're ignoring the problem. He says, yeah, but you're not going to, what are you going to supposed to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Do you know what I mean? So it's just, I know it sounds a bit arrogant and a bit one-sided, but in one way, you really got to take a step back, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. And I have to admit, it has been helping a bit. I'm going really personal at the moment, aren't I? it's just, but some of you in chat could probably side with me on this one. You know, it's a really unpredictable time, and my sinuses are playing up again. Can you not hear it? It's terrible. That's what's really pissed me off. My sinuses as well. It's got so bad this year. It's yeah, my self-conscious is terrible. But yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling the same. It's like, shit, where the hell do we go from here? Where is the hope sort of side? And I don't want to go into politics. I don't want to turn Alien Addict into that, you know. But yeah, I mean, for instance, Sundays, like today, clear blue sky. I'll show you what it's like today. What about that? Yeah, I thought this was nice. I thought this was quite pleasant to see. I know these days don't last long, but it was a clear blue sky, and it's been like that for this whole week. It's been absolutely amazing. And I'll pop out to the golf course, and I grab myself a latte or mocha, and like 420, and I'll just look at the blue sky and just really take a step back. And there are days like the chemtrailing is getting it's quite rampant. In fact, I tell you what was a really good, you know, I talk about chemtrails. Right, come on in. Up you go. There you go. A cat. Oh, bloody hell. Right. Let's bring this up. Dane Wingington. Ever heard of Dane Wingington? From Geoengineering Watch. Is it Jay Anderson? Because he had... Where is it? Let's bring this up. Now, one would say, "Oh, you keep banging on about chemtrails and stuff like that." It's like, look, I flip it. I love the conspiracy. Absolutely love it. You know, like I said, I don't get affected by it, but I would seriously recommend. I'll put this in chat actually. Jay Anderson interviewed Dane Wingington from geoengineeringwatch.com, and he's got a documentary called The Dimming, and that's got over 22 million views on that. And I would have to admit, even me looking through my books on old cloud formations, and you can see the trails. Dane in this video made a really good point, especially when it comes to the aircraft and what's actually being used. And one question I should say that I was talking about on the last live stream, that the fact that how do they separate the contamination of the fuel to actually turn on the spray on and off? The day when it was really heavy with chemtrailing, I did notice that these planes did not show up on a flight tracker. And these were more or less, I wouldn't say commercial, but even though it was loaded the skies with all these trails. So I'm really going like back onto a deep analysis of this. But this was immensely fascinating. This right here, the geoengineering evidence nobody wants to talk about. This is on Project Unity. And I listened all the way through it, and it's quite damning evidence, and there is plenty of evidence to suggest there is very small nanoparticles. Like nanoparticles, do you know how small it is? You can get 10,000 nanoparticles in like the length of a hair, like one hair molecule, like one hair length. Sorry, it's crazy, isn't it? It's just, and that's been floating about everywhere. At the moment in where I live, we got a lot of like what's called honey fungus, and a lot of fungi that's been affecting trees, and it's been quite rampant actually. And I'm not saying that could be done with the chemtrailing, but I'd love to have the trees tested, even like the water supplies. So there is definitely something going on for sure. But yeah, go check that out, guys. I think I'm on chat here. Yeah, go check that out. I'll just put it in link. Hey Mark, how's it going, man? I live in Cornwall, and it started to change here too. Yeah, I don't know how long this beautiful weather is going to last for. I really don't know. But I would say a lot more people are looking up. That's for sure. Hey, Science Evidence Fringe. How's it going, man? How's it going? You've missed the unboxing video of my book. If you, I've just unboxed this big lengthy video of this book on the Aztec crash. So yeah, it's going to be a good video to do. I might do a couple of parts on it. Might do one on Hidden Underbelly's channel as well. So let's get that guy off. And let's bring my notes up. But yeah, how's it going, Science Evidence Fringe? I hope you're doing well, buddy. Right. Oh, I'll tell you what. Let's bring this up. Okay, people in chat. I'm going to show you this. And I want you to tell me, like, the first thing that pops in your head, okay? It's a squiggly line, but it's like pareidolia. Okay, ready? That. What do you think that looks like? I know what it looks like. I'm gonna put it in chat. Faking game. I'll give you an extra 30 seconds. Woman's face outline. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, definitely woman's face. Okay. Side profile. All right. Okay, give me a few more seconds. No, Rotary, it's not a penis. I would say, right, it's my cursor. It looks like... silhouette of a woman's face as well. I would say it's actually two women, or I say it's two women, but it looks like two people kissing. Right, there's the nose. Hold on. Just imagine two people kissing. Does that make hairline fracture? Yeah. Do you see what I mean? I saw that. So basically, like, that's the nose, and that's the chin from the other person. Do you see what I mean? Yeah, damn right, John. Ah. Now that I look at it, it does look like a pubic hair, doesn't it? God damn it. I thought it was a more or less like, okay, Comfy Sofa got this one, a silhouette of a face, yes. I thought it was basically two people kissing. This is 69. Yeah. Anyway, when you look at it up close up, because I was looking at it up on my phone, it looks different when it's actually up on the computer. But anyway, yeah. Is that? Oh dear. All right. What else we got? Cloud Finder. Yeah. Right. Anyway, get off enough of that. So let's get back onto my notes and find out. But yeah, we'll get back to Aztec. Like I said, guys, I'm going to read through the book and any juicy information I'll bring forward. Actually, I tell you what. Let's go through archive. I'm going to put this in. I'm going to bring this up. Right. Archive. It's pretty good, I have to admit. Oh, we got the Wayback Machine now. If you want to find old documentaries, books and stuff like that, Internet Archive is the place to be. But I think you've got to pay for a subscription now. But I'm going to see if they have this book in its entirety in here. No, it doesn't. We've got a MUFON report. News clippings, 2001, 2004. Well, that's no good, isn't it? No, it doesn't. Okay, Majestic 12. Yeah, do you know what, guys? Majestic 12. Do you think the documents are real? Are you in agreement with Stanton Freeman on this one? I did do a show with Hidden Underbelly. I don't think we really took it seriously, to be honest with you. I think we 420 too hard on that one. But yeah, it's where the documents come from. I believe it was found on a train. But the MJ12 documents, guys, what do you reckon? Real or fake and gay? No? I don't know that one, to be honest with you. I like to believe in Stanton Freeman. But to be honest with you, as I was looking through it, I was like, Ugh. But no, we can see, no, the Aztec crash book is not on Internet Archive, so that can bugger off. And bring up my notes. And what we can move on to Twitter. Where is Twitter? 2 seconds, guys. I'll catch up with chat in a minute. Let's bring up Twitter. Bookmarks. Right. Oh, there you are, Rotary. There you go. I think you're up. Right. Let's go through. I've got a few bookmarks. So, Rotary, you've tagged me in a few things on Twitter. Okay, so this guy, I keep calling it Twitter. I know his ex. Right. Robert Speer. Okay, I have been watching his videos for a very long time. I'm going to be honest. His beliefs on the Nazi flying saucers, especially Maria Orsic, I think is a bit too far-fetched because we've not really based anything on evidence. Because Maria Orsic, even like the Vril Society, which she talks about in this video here, talks about Maria Orsic as being like a real medium. However, there's one secret society that I need to bring up. It's called the OTO. Hang on. I've got to make sure. German. Nope. OTO. Society. And this is a society that I haven't really brought up. It's called the... I can pronounce this. This was a cult secret society that was based in Germany. And this is called the Ordo Tempi Orientis or something like that. So call it the OTO. Okay, so this was basically psychic mediums coming together. This was formed in 1895. So this was like the early beginnings, even like before the Vril Society and stuff like that, even if it did exist. So there was an occult aspect, even with like using mediums and psychics and spirituality. That was in this society. In fact, let's just bring it up. The OTO, just to show you what this is. It's a real society. Here it is here. Okay. Ordo Templi Orientis, I believe. So yeah, this is a real occult society. Like I said, it was before, founded in 1895. So it has a sort of, I guess, real society, Maria Orsic, that sort of occult philosophy brought in, which is a real society. But the Vril Society, I don't know. Hey, Moody, how's it going, man? How's it going? So you can always pop back and listen to me and my rants and everything like that. But you just missed. I mentioned twice now. Opened up this book. I unboxed it live on stream. It's the Aztec UFO book. Most rare book in ufology, most expensive one. But yeah, go rewind after I finished. But nice to see you, man. It's nice to see you. Hope you're all doing well, especially you, Moody. So I'm good with this. Yeah. So yeah, real society, mediums and psychics in Germany before Vril Society. So there we go for that. Let's bring up Twitter again. So yeah, anything to do with Robert Speer. Interesting guy. He's definitely done his research, but I also have been watching debug videos on him, which is still quite interesting because I do look at both sides. I really do. And a lot of the stuff he does says, Rotary. Yes, there's a 90 quid book. Yes. Yeah, it came through the post. Yes. It came through the post yesterday. I just unboxed it. So, but yeah, Rotary, I was going to say, mate, I lost my train of thought. So just move on with that one. So yeah, go check that out if you wanted to. Robert Speer. What else is on here? Yeah, this. Okay, here's another one. Right. Now, this, okay, no, I talk about the trails. There are so many different pictures of this. It's the same outline, it's the same operation system right here, but some of the switches are different, but the outline is still the same. Now, obviously, this is all AI generated, but the problem that I have, yes, I do believe that's a real thing. That is real, obviously, because we've got a bloody real picture of it. Is this, okay? Team chemtrail. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Like I mentioned, these pilots are taking the piss. And I'm going to show you a video in a minute. You will, this is a more or less, I would call this a Operation Mockingbird style operation. It's almost like a psyop, okay? You get these pilots that come forward and they put out videos like this. And unfortunately, I'm not saying that this is real, but for the people that do believe that this is real, this gets regurgitated a lot on chemtrail social media sites as actually being real. I don't think it is. I think it's pilots literally taking the piss. Either one, they are paid shills, and my God, does that word get regurgitated a lot. Not saying that is the truth, but I think, look, come on, look at that badge, on and off switch. I think they can do a bit better than that. Do you know what I mean, guys?
This
shut up. Bad music. Yes, there are patterns. Yes, I would agree with that. Injections for the thingamajig. So I'm not denying. I'm not denying, but I do believe there is an aspect of pilots or some sort of, I don't know, organization, hashtag the intelligence agency. Like I said, it's almost like a Operation Mockingbird style, is to push disinformation out there, to push people in a different direction. So that's just my thought on that one. Hidden showed this on his show yesterday. Check this out. Oh, that's actually producing a smoke ring. It's pulsating for sure. Man, I got a dry mouth. Ugh. Oh yeah, mate. Yeah, I needed a change up. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's just, it cost me like bloody 20 quid. It's pretty good. It's an alien with a DJ set. And there was another one with, oh, dude, seriously. There was another one with like planets and everything like that, and it really looked quite gay. My missus said, "Don't buy that. It looks really, really camp." I'm like, I understand. So we stuck with the alien instead. Hey, Wild. Oh my God, my reading's terrible. I'm going to call you Wild. Thanks for being here. Where did Ollie go? He is no longer with us, unfortunately. He got his head knocked off by a golf ball. No, I'm joking. No, he's buggered off to another podcast. He's he decided that Alien Addict is in terms of like the topics, we're going in more in the conspiracy realms. So they've gone to, and I should plug them more, and they should plug this show more. And that's the Daily Conspiracy Podcast. So you could go check them out, Wild, on Spotify. Daily Conspiracy Podcast. Go pretty much every day talking about conspiracies, if that's in your sort of thing, really. But yeah, that's where Ollie's gone. I'm sure he's talking about like chicken nipples and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not joking. Gives that far. Hey, Jamming Music Man, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. How's it going? And happy 420 if you're 420 with us. And Operation Sea Spray, yes. I'll tell you what, let's put some pause. But yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? It's obviously one say it's a drone, but it's got us that pulsation going through the clouds. That's interesting. I'm liking that footage. Yeah, Operation Sea Spray in San Francisco. That was a spread of bacteria from ships. And the wind carried it all through the city. What was interesting about that science evidence fringe is you are right on that. But during the toxic fog, could you remember the toxic fog that happened? With Operation Sea Spray, what they did, because there was like several operations to do what they did, was basically spray bacteria onto the public just to see what happened in the public facing a biological attack. Hey, Nathan from the Quantum Show, how's it going, man? Welcome on in, brother. But what was interesting is that they sprayed the bacteria, which was from ships, but they did it during the fog when it was foggy. Now, if you look at San Francisco, you will get that fog that persists over the bridge, that sort of iconic shot we see of San Francisco. It almost has that fog mist that comes into the city. They did that when it was foggy, and they found out that the bacteria will actually be more persistent because with the fog, it's like tiny water droplets, isn't it? It's like a massive sheet, which if you want to be technical, you will call that you call that stratus. That's a stratus cloud. That is like high altitude cloud, but it's basically on the ground, like this very fine mist, basically. And they found out that a bacteria will actually be more persistent in there. Now, a lot of people were getting sick, like I did. I'm not saying it was to do with the toxic fog, but it's either hysteria, social media going out of hand, people making wild spread of information. I mean, look how information goes these days. It spreads like wildfire about anything, really. But I can remember the toxic fog was quite hyped up around about, was it like December or something like that? But I got ill, and I did a video on it. I got ill, man. But yeah, Operation Sea Spray was a real operation back in the 1950s, yeah, which was spraying bacteria. Also, there's another one as well called the Denvershire Biological Weapon Experiment. Is it? No, it's the Dorset Biological Weapon Experiment, I think that's it. Yeah, there we go. Let's bring this up. It's just to show you when people say, oh, no, the government won't do that. I'd be like, oh, bitch, please, please. So this is the Dorset Biological Weapon Warfare Experiments. So this was a series of experiments conducted, this is a Wikipedia page, conducted between 1953 and 1975 to determine the extent of which a single ship or aircraft could dispose biological warfare agents over the United Kingdom. The tests were conducted by scientists from Porton Down. Oh, that's a blend. They did a lot of biological experiments in that area. It's actually closed off to the public, I believe. Using zinc, potassium sulfide. Early results, blah 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 blah. But yeah, you can see it here. My reading's bloody terrible. Yeah, go figure. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Yes, so they did do these experiments, and these were called the DICE trials. Okay. They even put, oh, lovely. That's lovely, isn't it? Oh, thank you so much. Chucking a bit of anthrax in there, why don't you? Yeah. Not joking, along with anthrax, simulants, and pethanol were sprayed over Dorset, and they say they won't do it now. Oh, please. Oh, I've got a load of operations here. Operation Sea Spray. There we go. Yeah. So they do spray the public, and to say that they don't, I know people don't like this word. It's kind of retarded. Right. Let's bring this up. Oh my God. Okay, Joe, please, mate. Look. Stop copyrighting my videos, okay? I support you, listen to you every day to a certain degree. Let's just go through chat one time. I'll go back to chat in a minute. Let me just go through my bookmarks for the moment. So this absolute, complete I like the word twat waffle. I'm trying to be nice here. This guy here who Joe Rogan has interviewed, his name's Saki, Saka, or whatever his name. But basically, really goes to show how narrow-minded, naive, one-sided, blind, echo chamber mindset this guy is. Okay, when I get a chance to speak to Graham Hancock, he's away at the moment. When I do speak to him face to face, I like to get his opinion on this. And I know they've made up, these two people, but just listen to the arrogance of this.
I'm not opposed to the idea of aliens existing. There's hundreds of billions of galaxies in the known universe, each with hundreds of billions of stars. The idea that we're uniquely alone. You don't think there's anything out there? Nothing. So you don't believe in ancient civilizations capable of advanced construction. You don't believe in aliens. You don't believe in carbon dating.
I am a scientist.
Oh.
If you believe in something, write an article. Then I can read. But don't give me a theory.
But the theory of planets containing intelligent life is...
No, that's not true. I have been debating Graham Hancock and Robert Buffalo and John Antonowist, and I told them from the beginning, your theory will go with the wind.
Right, but we're not talking about that theory. We're talking about aliens being possible.
No way.
No alien, just us.
This is
only
the
us
national
in the whole
project.
universe.
If you believe in
us
God,
in the whole universe, only us.
If you believe in God, you will do miracles. The Egyptian believed in the afterlife, and they made this great civilization.
I'm not saying aliens made it. I'm saying it's very possible there's something else out there in the world.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
God, Jesus Christ. I mean, you should just like launch a trash can at the guy. Do you know what I mean by the arrogance of the guy? Just the fact he blindly just will not accept anything that is alternative, that goes against his beliefs. I would argue and say, look, why even go back to the Sumerians or go Tepli? Oh my God, I can't say the bloody word. But even go to like the Aztecs and that sort of regions, even where Graham Hancock is at the moment, excuse me, in Iraq, Babylon, where the first civilization began. Obviously, we found other places now, but look at the painting. Look at the paintings. Look at the depictions they were putting on, carved into stone, depicting these entities, these beings. I mean, not just for Iraq, but if you look around the world, you see these depictions of that. Looks quite alien. And for them, a lot of mainstream historians would say, "Oh no, they're just depicting what they think of a god." But it's like, look, they are showing flying machines that look quite similar to what we would consider to be a flying saucer or some sort of aviation technology. And you will find this a recurrent thing around the world in many different cultures. And for this twat waffle just to deny that aspect is mind-boggling. And the fact that, you know what, good, I'm glad Joe Rogan got this guy because it's going to show people for what he really is. I understand the evidence. I understand the evidence is extremely important. But look at ufology. We know something's there, guys. We know the government's covering up. We know we ain't going to get the truth about it. But there's still something there. There's still something we're actually holding on to. Yes, we know it's frustrating and everything. But just for the arrogance of this guy to be like, no, oh, show me the evidence. I'm a scientist. When someone says that, oh, God. He is a tosser. You're right, Evidence Fringe. He is an absolute tosser. Arrogance. Really is. Yeah, you're right, Nathan. Yeah. It's just... it just pisses me off. And it makes me side more with Graham Hancock. You know, yeah, I understand we should believe in legends and myths. And... you know, that all these cultures that bring up some sort of alien life that they've basically seen in the flesh. And we shouldn't deny that. We shouldn't do. But again, this video is just a typical example of mainstream archaeology. Narrow-minded. I'm not going to talk about Lou Elizondo. We all know that. Look, we all know the situation with him. I haven't got any Jeremy Corbell whistleblower stuff, guys, honestly, because it's just, look, we know the situation of them. You're not going to get the truth on this, but yeah, Richard Doty blew the whistle. Let's just play this.
I was offered a job in 2019 by the United States Space Force where Lou Elizondo worked, to work with him in disinformation. And I said, not no, but hell no. I'll never do that again.
Did Lou blend the knee?
Worked for him. I don't know what he did. You'd have to ask.
Well, he's done a very good job of keeping that a bloody secret because everyone flipping knows exactly what he's up to. Disinfo agent. I mean, I don't deal with Facebook. There was this guy I used to go to music college with. He's into UFOs. I haven't spoken to him in like flipping 17 years. And he messaged me. He goes, "Oh, yeah, are you in the band or anything like that?" I was like, "No, I sort of kind of given it up and sort of moved on with other stuff." He says, "Oh, what'd you do?" I said, "Well, I run a UFO channel called Alien Addict." He goes, "You should go check out TTSA." I said, "Have you heard of a person called Lou Elizondo?" And I just put like a laughing emoji, and I didn't reply back. I thought, "Oh, like, don't get me started." Like, literally, I'm not exactly, old to this sort of stuff or new to this stuff, so to speak. I just find it hilarious. But again, if you're new to the community, people ain't going to see the Lou side. I do. I don't trust him as far as I can fucking throw him. I'm sorry, but to be a government official or a UFO expert, and you bring out three bloody fake photographs of UFOs. And the first one was back in TTSA. I was actually watching alien scientist Jeremy Reed. And he showed a picture of, I think it was a Malar balloon. And this is when TTSA was going on. This was like 2018, I believe, when Lou joined the force. Not the force, that bloody, fake organization that scammed money out of people. And it shows a picture of like a Mylar balloon, basically. And then you had the chandelier and you had that photograph there. So, guys, something big's happening. Something big's going to happen. Listen.
Types of visual evidence. I think we're going to see some footage in the future from me and George that we've obtained and are making sure it's safe to release that is shocking. It's different than a lot of what you've seen before, the shapes.
Yeah. I mean, your experience.
Types of visual evidence. I think we're going to see some footage in the future from me and George that we've obtained and are making sure it's safe to release that is shocking. It's different than a lot of what you've seen before, the shapes.
Right, first of all, like, how does this guy, Jeremy Corbell, get the security clearance to release this? Who is he talking to? I need details, man. It's like they're holding on for like the perfect moment. And it just seems to be like a very reoccurring thing. It's like a trend. So News Nation will bring up something UFO related. And I know they brought out UFO hunters, which I need to catch up on. But at the same time, these are just, we need to ask the harder questions. Where are these people are not government officials or have the security clearance to find these UFO or even obtain these UFO videos, let alone bloody release it to the public? Who are they speaking to? And certainly not speaking to Flippin' Arrow, are they? It's just what I mean. Wait for the perfect time. Something's going to happen. Like I said, they bite their time, so they're holding on to the footage, so they got something there. And to be honest with you, Jeremy, no offense, man, but the footage you show is wank footage. Is wank. And yes, I would say the jellyfish UFO is wank. Do you know what I'm sick and tired of seeing, guys? Not these two idiots. Bear in mind, I have to admit, George Knapp has done his research into UFOs, and you can trace that back into the 80s. Fair enough. I know, take my hats off to him. I forgot where I was going with that. Where am I going with that? I don't know. Fucking lost my train of thought. Let's just take him off the screen and then, yeah. But time will tell, guys. I do not think we're going to get any decent footage. That is shocking, according to the marketing director here, right here, Jeremy Corbell. Oh, yes. This is nostalgic for me. Algorithm, bite me. Do you know what this is? Edge Media TV, Sky Channel 200.
And so if you want, which is what they do want, a world government, a world central bank, a world army, an amalgamation of NATO and the UN peacekeeping operation, a world currency, electronic, no cash, and a microchip population, then what you've got to do, and this is the way they work, a process I call problem, reaction, solution, you've got to keep creating the problems, get the people to react, do something in fear and outrage, all of what's happening, what they're going to do about it, and then they, who've covertly created the problem, offer the solutions to the problems they've created, which is the constant centralization of power. That's what all the solutions are. And we're seeing such a wonderful example now with what's happening in the financial industry. Absolutely. And if we don't wake up, we're going to live in a global fascist dictatorship within 5 to 10 years.
Wow. Well, I forgot that last bit. Yeah, you're spot on again, mate. Do you know what? We'll get back to something that you just mentioned there. But yeah, I did notice that with Ray that he looked quite nervous. Yeah, I noticed his hands moved quite a bit on that one. Yeah, I would agree with that, John. Yeah, definitely got a controller. Or he's got at least some advisors, one would say. Yeah, I kind of get that too, Rebecca. Yeah. Faking gay. I love that term. Yeah, you did. You did nail it. Now, listen to this.
You've got to keep creating the problems. Then what you've got to do, and this is the way they work, with no cash and a microchip population.
Right, microchip population. Will the people buy it? Now, this microchip population has been going on for a long period of time. We know it happens because I do believe in some areas in Europe actually has the microchip implant into their arm. That's fine. No, it's not fine. You know, if you want to do that, I'd rather be human and not a robot, so to speak. You don't know what these chips are doing half the time. I think personally, as the idea of microchipping people is such a really old concept, I think the technology is moved on since then. You could say the same for in terms of technology. I think nanoparticles, and especially what was put in a specific vaccine, like graphite is one of them, and they've been finding those in the trails as well. That is a conductor. It's basically a conductor. It is almost like a conductive receiver. And if you're inhaling that and it's seeping into your pores of your skin, I think that's the word for it, like nanobots. I think that is a new way of actually tracking a person through their blood by... This is why the phrase of blocking out the sun to combat climate change, that aspect is probably a bit too far-fetched. I think there's another purpose for it. Not saying that they not blocking out the sun, but I think they're probably using that as an excuse. Because these nanobots, these particles, if you do it on a mass scale, you really are creating... I mean, you can basically track anything, isn't it? It's creating like a mass... excuse me, like a mass 5G network. In one aspect, you can track everything. And I think a lot of these 5G cities, especially like the 15-minute cities, when they would make it all 5G, everything would be connected all together. And there was a fantastic video stating that they can actually track trees and how they grow. I think another word for it would be like smart dust or something like that. But yeah, the idea of these microchips, I think the technology has changed. Now, bear in mind, this is 2008. Oh, 2008. I would rather go back to that time than be in now, where YouTube was full of conspiracy theory videos. Oh, it was a time, golden year of conspiracy research. But man, didn't he nail it on the head?
Global fascist dictatorship. Absolutely. And if we don't wake up, we're going to live in a global fascist dictatorship within 5 to 10 years.
Boom. Boom. And that, you cannot find that video anywhere. You can't. They don't need, Nick, everyone has smartphones. Yeah, this is it. We all have smartphones. Always listen to us. Probably even read your mind and all that. Yes, I'm going up as far as that. The thing is, it's not really permanently stuck to your body, isn't it? You want something that's internally. Do you know what? I'll be interested to bring up the video. I'll put that on my notes, actually. The 5G network and what it can actually do. It was an interesting video. I doubt if it's actually online now. They probably took it off, but it shows you what a smart city, that's it. It was a smart city, what it actually does. And it's flipping terrifying. But this is what I mean by the technology. I think it's moved on by then, personally, myself. They've been testing it on monkeys with these microchips. Musk is... Yeah. Are these chips now? I don't know. They'd probably be like something like paper thin, isn't it? Because you think like what Moody says, the RFID chip, those were like pill-sized tablets used to insert. Like I said, I reckon the generation's probably changed by then. The day that it's still the second fitterish. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that rings a bell, actually, Rotary. It's been a while since I've seen that. Yeah, that does ring a bell, actually. But I think nanobots it's especially in certain medical intervention. I can't mention it, but you know, the thing that I did not take. Woo! It was all in that, and you can see through the microscope what these nanoparticles, these nanobots are doing. It's scary. Social credit as well. Yes, that's more of a China thing, isn't it? I hope it doesn't come into here. I don't. The way things are going, you know, especially this bloody government, when conspiracies were to the known fact, yeah, you could say we're living in the day of the conspiracy theorist. You could say that, to be honest with you. Especially, I think everything started to change after COVID. COVID was like the new, what can I say why it is? Like 2012, it was like a new change. I think the powers that be that pushed the COVID nonsense really did fail at the end. I think it woken a lot of people up. I have to admit that. But yeah, I think more people are now looking into conspiracy. Do you know what? I talk about conspiracies a lot to a lot of people, actually. You know, not bombarding it, but more people are susceptible to it because I think people just don't believe in mainstream media anymore. They don't. Everyone carries a phone everywhere, though. Yeah, I'm guilty, mate. I'm absolutely guilty of that. We're all guilty of that, you know. Imagine, I don't know, 20 years' time, you know, this brick phone, well, it's not a brick phone, but you know, these phones will probably change into a different style. It might be like transparent, they'll get thinner and, you know, something, it probably turn into something holographic. Do you know what I mean? Like something crazy. Check the channel Yes Theory, who visited the billionaire's island. Teams working on microchip implants. Oh, okay. I'll check that out. In their brain, apparently. Oh, it's in the brain. Bloody hell. That's the Neuralink, isn't it? I think I'd rather stay human, to be honest with you, Rebecca. Let's have a look. We're 90% water with an electrical system that can be manipulated. I think walking at him. Oh, mate. It's a problem with 420 I just need to learn how to read properly. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, look at the planet. The planet is pretty much well, 85% water. And we're 90% water, according to Corbell's cat. With electrical charge, yeah, we're basically like antennas, aren't we? We're pretty much like antennas. It's weird. It's like me and the missus get this sort of like. She messaged me, even like my mum does, like if something isn't right. You know what I mean? You can sort of pick it up. Strange how people work. Like an aerial, yes. Beacon, pretty much, mate. We are energy, yes. It's like when I trip on Mario mushrooms, hug a tree. You can like, communicate with it. I do believe trees can communicate with each other. Man, I sound like a right hippie, don't I? Where's Hidden? Hidden, where are you, brother? I need you in this conversation. But yeah, I do believe that. Battery and a computer. Yeah. Who did a really good quote? I think it might have been David Icke, actually. Mentioned about basically we are a computer, and he was saying that the internet is basically our subconscious. It was amazing. It was really, really well put. I'll try and find that. Jason Sands, yeah, okay, we all know about him, but he did put this amazing song by, I can't remember, is it Stephen something? But yeah, I was put the bookmark. I wanted to do this, which was the journalist that once they broke the story of the oh god, what was it? What's the first UFO crash in 1936? It was oh my god, Mussolini. I can't remember the specific name of it. There was a UFO that was brought over, that allegedly crashed, was obtained, and it was brought over from Italy into America in the 1930s. And this guy here broke the story. And whether or not it says allegedly the very first photos of an alien inside of a UFO was taken by an Italian journalist, Roberto Pinatti. True or false, guys? Alien? Yay, nay. All fake and gay. Italy, that was it. Yeah, Italy. Oh, excuse me. I do apologize, guys. Yeah, I could do that, but there's not a lot of information. There's a few like bits and pieces of scraps of notes, and I think a couple of documents related to the Italy case, but I'm not too sure. I'll put that on my notes, and I could bring up in a later on the show. I think we're all in agreement. Sheep up, one true Saxon. That is most in fact fake and gay. So we move on from that. Jay Anderson, yep, talking about weather modification. Right, okay. Operation Mockingbird is going very well and strong into thin air, and also Concerned Citizen. Now, Concerned Citizen, I'm very skeptical of any information he comes out, especially about flipping trails in the sky, because, like I said, chemtrails are real, but I think a vast majority of people are misidentifying clouds, normal natural clouds, of actually chemtrails. I'm just saying. But yeah, this was a warning to the public on CNN of an wildfire underwater volcano is ready to blow its top off the west coast. Scientists think one of the Pacific Oceans, dickhead, known volcanoes will blow its top vent on the coming months, causing 1,000 earthquakes in one day. Okay, so CNN, obviously, no one bloody trusts them. Why would they put that? Always think, guys, why? Why would someone had to type that in? Okay, why would they do that? I would say, and I think people might agree with me on this. Yes, I know Grush talked about it, but I'm a bit skeptical about anything Grush says, John, to be honest with you. But I'll look into it, mate. I'll definitely look into it. You got to think why. Why do they put this right here? Fear-mongering, okay? Oh, Anton Woodward, how's it going, man? How's it going? Nice to see you, man. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good day, and welcome on in. So you always think why? Why they got to put this here? They had to type it in to get a reaction, isn't it? It's all about getting a reaction, and they got some sort of reaction from someone who's actually taken notice of it. Operation Mockingbird, I think, for people need to understand is that this was a multi-layer corporation. I'm talking about the intelligence agency really expanding out into many facilities over Europe, in fact, all over the world, that had agents working for different companies. We're talking about mainstream media here, basically putting out false information, fear-mongering, and scare tactics about the Cuban War, which was at that time, which was the hype at the time, the Cuban Missile Crisis. And the idea was to really get the Americans into war with Cuba. Obviously, thank God that didn't happen. But Operation Mockingbird was basically the CIA and the FBI and multi facets of intelligence agencies around the world, which all work for the news agencies, would put out information that the Cubans were doing terrorist attacks and they were killing civilians and stuff like that, putting out false information. And I would say that this is more or less like the same tactic. It's almost like fear mongering once again. Okay. Someone had to type this up and someone put this out on purpose to get a reaction. And it's just to scare people. I might be wrong on this one. I might be wrong. An underwater volcano in the Pacific Northwest is expected to erupt sometime this year for the first time in 11 years. It could stir up a lot of activity for marine life in the area, the volcano. Seamount lies about a mile below the ocean surface, about 300 miles off the coast of Astoria, Oregon. So, okay. Well, if it did blew its top off and it created earthquakes, then yeah, you're most likely looking at a tsunami. Time will tell, but it did say 1,000 earthquakes. Hold on, let's go back. Pacific Ocean known volcanoes will blow its vent in the coming months, causing 1,000 earthquakes in one day. 10,000 earthquakes in one day. That's a bit far. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Mockingbird Media, yeah, pretty much what it is. All right, here we go. Astoria. Fucking so stupid, honestly. Oh, it was a typo, was it? Okay, all right, fair enough. my reading isn't a typo. Flipping hell. There's a guy I want to get on the show called Joseph P. Farrell, who deal with the Bell Project. And now he's an Oxford professor, and I thought, God, if I have to flip him read, or if he watches a video of me reading, guarantee he ain't gonna fucking come onto the show. Jesus Christ. Oh yes, Polar Shift. Who's the other guy? I'm forgetting all these names today. She pop up. Who's the guy's name? Who does fucking hell, I can't remember his name. Does all the polar shifts. The pole shifts and stuff like that. Yeah, he's great. I've got a couple of his books here. Nancy, Brotherhood of the Bell, and there's another one as well. But it's also to do with the Bell Project, which will be like a later on with the German Nancy flying saucer stuff, like probably like part 8. Excuse me. So I'd love to get him on the show for an interview, but the fact is, I hope he doesn't watch, because motherfucking, pardon me, reading is terrible. Yes, I do believe earthquakes are man-made as well. Yeah, for sure. All right, so that's enough of that. But I just thought it was a bit odd. Why would they put that up there? Right. Yeah, you know me. Shut up. Right. Ask the hard questions. Not denying. I am not denying chemtrails. I'm not. But just ask yourself this. Okay. Why would they spray to block out the sun when you got this huge amount of what I would call a cumulus cloud, which is a very low base level cloud, or you could say a or cirrocumulus or something like that, that around the baseline of that atmosphere. So that alone has really blocked out the sun, which you can see the sun there. So these trails really ain't going to do anything. Do you see what I mean? Look how widespread that blanket of white. I mean, the people on the ground is not going to see the sun, and they're not going to see those trails. So why are they spraying? Do you know what I mean? I'm just asking questions. It's just like things like that you need to ask. I thought it was to block out the sun. Well, fat amounts of stratus cloud there, mate. You know what I mean? All cumulus. That's actually blocking out the sun more than these bloody trails are. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, not denying it, but I like to ask wild questions, Right, another
Conspiracy theory, government. So I wanted to speak to you about chemtrails. They're not just a conspiracy theory. Governments across the world have freely admitted they're doing weather engineering.
Sure.
It's been a beautiful, clear day. And then you have these kind of unnatural looking stripy clouds across the sky where they dissipate and create this kind of gray fog. That's not normal. That's not what natural clouds look like.
Okay, Mr. Weatherman. So could you tell me how a cloud is formed, please? Could you tell me what's the basic science of how a cloud is formed? Could you tell me that? Because you point your camera up in the sky and you're narrating, what clouds are unnatural clouds, and do you know what I mean? These people have no concept of meteorology, but yet they're telling me how weather works.
Where they dissipate and create this kind of gray fog. That's not normal. That's not what natural clouds look like. They are changing the weather, blocking out the sun by doing this.
Okay, right. First things first, blocking out the sun and dimming of the sun are two different things. Blocking out the sun is basically, if we're going by the concept of what they've been doing since October in England, and I've got time-lapse videos every single day of it, of this completely white blanket, and it's something to do with chemtrailing, like this thick white depression that has blocked out the sun for, not joking, months. And it's only until April since we actually seen the sun. Now, I would argue, no offense, Weatherman.
These trails which kind of dissipate into these larger clouds, that's what it's doing. It's obviously terrible that it's happening. The government should be making those decisions for us.
Why are you filming yourself? Okay, right. First things first. Right. This is what I do with my chemtrail videos I bring out. I really analyze the sky. Now, look, these trails are not going to block out or dim the sun. Look at it. Look. Okay, he's put a photograph on here that middle photograph looks nothing like what he's showing. Okay. That trail is not going to dim the sun, mate. That white haze there is not going to block out the sun. Okay. Just saying, look, I'm just saying, the trails when it's going horizon to horizon, it's extremely, extremely bad. And yes, I've seen cases where it just block out the sun, but this doesn't, I mean, if it's going to block out the sun, mate.
Blocking out the sun by doing this.
Yeah, okay, but why are you shirtless? If it's blocking out the sun, why are you shirtless? do you know what I mean? I'm just asking questions. Okay, so clearly this is what we need, some yeah, right. This is what I have to deal with. Chemtrails are real. We know that they've been doing it, but more people. They like the guy I showed you the last video on the guy on the train when he's holding the sign and he's talking about geoengineering. People looking at him like flipping, like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Basically laughing. There is a time and a place, and look, I was like that years ago when I first got into the chemtrailing community. This is like, it's nothing new, but people are misconcepting of what they're actually seeing in the sky. Look, not every single trail in the sky is weather modification. I've seen small little trails, and I've got tons of time-lapse videos of it, and they do sod all. They dissipate within 20 minutes. And in that, like, for instance, that trail there, and I guarantee that little trail there, see that trail there? That will dissipate within like flipping 20 minutes. I've seen it so many times. I'm not saying that might be the case in this area because you see this white haze, but this white haze, what he's showing right here, it's not going to dim the sun. The guy's fucking shirtless. I can see the sun. People are wearing sunglasses, I would imagine so, outside. Stop filming yourself. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. This is me. All right. Okay, this is me. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Where's my pipe? Right, last one. Remember this?
Let me tell you what bugs me about human endeavour. I've
Yeah.
never been the human in question. Have you? Mankind went to the moon. I don't even know where Grimsby is. Forget progress by proxy. Land on your own moon. It's no longer about what they can achieve out there in your behalf, but what we
Remember
can
this?
experience up here in our own time.
Absolutely.
It's called mental wealth.
Okay. Can anybody, as a pub quiz, yes, you got it, the PlayStation. This absolutely freaked me out when I saw this on television. This was the PlayStation 2 advert. 1999 when the PlayStation 2. In fact, I can just see my original PlayStation 2 over there, actually. Yeah, I want to play SSX Tricky. Can't find it on on Steam or anywhere, so I have to play the original game. But this was an advert for the PlayStation 2, and this freaked me out. It's pretty good, isn't it? You have to admit, it's pretty good. But yeah, I would. Is it Rebecca? Yes, Rebecca. She's definitely a keeper. Tesla's daughter. So yeah, this is I think that's it. Is that everything? But for 1999, it's pretty good, isn't it? It's just the graininess. Oh yeah, look. I like this, look. Just in middle of the road. That's funny. Oh, it's right. It's like, come at me, bro. Trust you, bro. Oh dear. Right. I'm gonna. Oh no, what do I do? Stop cut. There we go. So yeah, that I think is that. Yeah, that's the idiot online. Yeah. Remember I showed this last week. It's basically seeds germinating. Okay. It does happen. Can I show you that there? Did you click on the link? No, it doesn't show up. But yeah, there is the fact check underneath it. And people go, bloody fact checks, they're just disinformation. It's like, look, if you click on it, it does show you, look, seeds can germinate inside a tomato if the right conditions, especially if it's humid as well. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, oh yeah, there's one. I thought this was quite interesting. Check this out. It's the lighter. There it is. Bloody TikTok music. Macro seed. Yeah, I know, right?
It doesn't look like it's going like from the earth up, does it? Like there's no rays or anything. No, it doesn't. Like there's no.
Cool. Right. I think that's it. Oh, this is interesting. Look at this. So this guy taps this guy on the shoulder and watch. So this guy just comes out of nowhere, taps this guy on the shoulder, and then dodges out of the way. Look at that. No, that's not fake and gay. Right. Is that everything? I think that's everything. Hold on. What was that about? Woo! Right, okay. Let's do this. No, that's not right. I wouldn't eat that. Yeah, to be honest with you, you've got seeds germinating inside of the tomato. In fact, if you got a tomato and you planted it in the ground, it will actually germinate. So I guess if it's in the right conditions, especially humidity, obviously that's a big factor for seeds to germinate. No, just saying. He knew the fruit tree, definitely did. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. Actually, I tell you what, let's leave the ghost photos for next week. In fact, there's one I want to show, which I found quite interesting. Is that one there? Okay, right, check this out. Okay, so the owner of this photograph, Rut, I took this photo shortly after a car accident early this year when a 4x4 made a legal U-turn and collided with my car. I was driving and my partner was in the passenger seat. Once we were safely pulled over, I managed to snap a few pictures despite my hands shaking. This one turned out the clearest. Oddly, standing by the driver's side door is a figure that looks like my grandfather who passed away when I was 12. Several people who knew him had also noticed the resemblance. The incident took place near a cemetery too, and this is the photograph. So if you have a look here, you can see that figure there. Zoom in. Tricky one. Photos like this, if we just go back to that one, might be a bit more clearer into that. There we go. A debunk would say, like, if I was Mick West. Oh yeah, Nathan. Yeah, what I haven't showed actually. I there's this Facebook page I joined called like Paranormal Sightings, and people just like random people from the public like take obviously photographs of like apparitions and put it up. Vast majority of stuff are crap, but actually, fuck it. Let's just run through them because there's some really good ones here. So yeah, you could say, well, you got the light in the background there, and that's shining off, and that's given the resemblance of this figure, which can be done. Obviously, motion blur is one thing, but nevertheless, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. So let's go back to the first one. Let's go to that one now. Oh my god, I am not going to read that. I'm just going to read the last bit. We can confirm that this picture has not been edited and it has been checked and came back clear from tampering. This is the photograph. Have to admit, pretty damn good, isn't it? Yeah. This looks like he was probably taken on a what are they called? The doorbell things, the Zoom doorbells. That's pretty good, isn't it? Zoom in a little bit. That creepy kid's face gets a bit pixelated, but nevertheless, it was. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Right, moving on. There's another one. John, who owns this photo, said some friends of mine were out camping a few weeks ago. They took this picture with a digital camera, but the red figure in the photo were not visible in the viewfinder. Once it was displayed on the computer, that is what showed up. We can't help but feels like that is some kind of evil presence trying to disrupt our camping trip. Hold on a minute. Oh, I took that photograph here. Huh. Oh no. You know, with shutter speeds, sorry guys, my bloody throat. Excuse me. So with shutter speed, when you've got like a specific like night shot, obviously you mentioned there's a digital camera here. What will happen is that sometimes the camera will automatically recognize that either if the flash isn't on, the camera should recognize to actually basically light up the picture if the flash isn't on. So that would require a low shutter speed, which will need a tripod, because what will happen, you can get this effect. Like, for instance, if you've got like a small dot, like a lamppost, and you've got a slow shutter speed, or a slow shutter speed, I should say, and then if you move the camera, it will give this like a motion blur, like it looks like the object is actually moving, but it's actually to do with the camera. This could be it. During, if you look at how the people are really lit up quite brightly. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's anything demonic. Yeah, faking gay. Yeah. Here's another one. Caught a ghost on cam, Glasgow Museum. Okay, like my partner. That kid's like, hey. What's his photo to be taken? What do you reckon? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. If you look at the background here, like when I look at these ghost photos and analyze it, bear in mind I've done so many ghost hunts. And, oh, sorry, my throat. So if you look at the background, very, very clear. If you're smoking a cigarette, and yes, we call it in this country a fag. That is a British tradition, is a cup of tea and a fag. Always got to have that. The smoke from whatever you're smoking, even a joint, will actually give off this like wispy effect. It almost looks like ectoplasm, one would say. And you could say, look, could be pareidolia. Okay. But it just so happened this light source looks like a kid, waving his flipping arm out. You know what I mean? It kind of looks like that. But yeah. And this might be a typical example of someone smoking a can I say it 3 times? Fags. Yeah, this here. Look at that. I don't know. I think we really are dealing with pareidolia here. It kind of looks like a spirit. It kind of looks like a spirit. When in fact, I mean, could you say pollution does this? Not pollution, like. Well, yeah, you could call it that, like dust and all that sort of stuff. Have you seen like the sun shining through the window and you can see like all the dust particles and stuff like that? Look, if you're taking it with a flash, sure, because that flash is going to give off even like orbs and stuff like that. Because the only way we can capture orbs is through a flash. So yeah, the other thing is here. If you have a look at the bottom, it's very bright right here. So who knows? Who knows on that one? Oh god, this one. What does it say here? This is my neighbor's photo. It was taken years ago in England from inside a pub. For all the naysayers, it's not a flash reflection. Wow. Should we have a little look at that? Chat, what do you reckon? I don't know. You can clearly see this was taken on film. It's got to be film, like the old film rolls used to take back of like disposable camera back in the days. I don't know, man. It's flipping bright. So we're going by this guy here. He's probably 420'd. It's probably like Hidden's brother or something like that. Yeah, he's stoned. He's rocked out. But that is actually illuminating his hat. Obviously, the light reflection is coming down. It's obviously going to give that, obviously assuming that the sun is obviously shining through. Now, if someone was walking and then the sun hit at the right position, I don't know, man. I don't know. I doubt it will completely white out this person. If that is a person, just so happens to walk through the shot of the camera. You know what I mean? Nevertheless, it's pretty cool. And I hope this dude is still 420 and clearly. Yeah, we've seen that one. This one again. This is what I find interesting when we have like old film roll cameras like this, okay? Because it becomes more genuine than actually a digital one, so to speak, because you know it's not manipulated unless you're doing, you know, like a Billy Meyer style, not Billy Meyer, Gulf Sighting sort of style, even like George Adamski. So when you're superimposing. I can't remember the name of it, but with this, I found an old photo of my brother when we were younger. We lived in a very haunted house and sometimes caught some unwanted guests in the photo, but this one caught us off guard. The resemblance between makes oh my god, makes all of us look on edge. What do you think it might be? Man, I need to learn English. I don't think there's nothing nefarious about that, to be honest with you. If you have a look at the logos here, look, Ford. You can see the logo here as well. Clear example. This is just a motion blur with a film camera. So there we go. So film cameras can give off motion blur. But look, typical example. Look at the shirt. Ford. You can see it right there. There we go. So that is firmly debunked. Now, this is what I mean when you're smoking. You're going to get this. Hubby took this photo. Hubby took picture of his nan in 1984. Oh, yeah, they were definitely fucking bonging it up inside the house then. No smoke from the pan. His granddad had died a few years before. The owner of the house since the 1950s, where the smoke is reached, is where the old light switch was. Did that make any sense, what I just said? There we go. Obviously, another old style film roll photo. And this is what you would typically get when you would smoke, or obviously in the description here, he was saying that the pan wasn't on. Obviously, if you're cooking bacon and all that sort of stuff, yeah, it's going to flip and smoke for sure. But the 80s household, guys, you know, it was a bit like a pub. You can smoke, you can drink in there. You know, it was a different time. Not saying that is the case in this photograph, but you got to take that into consideration. Cigarette smoke can cause this, you know, just saying. And I think that's it. Yeah, that is all the photographs. So there we go. Could be ectoplasm. Who knows? Have I got anything else? Just one more thing to the 31 people in chat. Right. He's going to talk about chemtrails again, isn't he? Right, okay. Me experiment. This is very, very quick. Very, very quick. Right, I saw this line right here. Okay, so people say it's projection. Oh, Rotary, no. Oh, mate. Oh, thanks, bruv. I'll put that in for my next book. I'm planning to get. Don't know what that is yet. Probably something bloody expensive, but yeah, I do appreciate that, man. Very, very. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. And if I can blow you some weed smoke your way, man, I would blow weed smoke into the fucking webcam right you. But no, thank you, man. I do appreciate it. I really do. And yeah, honestly, guys, anything would help, honestly. I'm not be the one that states that give me money, you know. We call that pulling an ollie. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Subscribe to our Patreon. $5.99. So yeah, right, back to this. Right, we see this line going through. I can absolutely confirm right now, and thanks again, Rotary. Do appreciate it, mate. Thanks to this trail here. Okay, a lot of people say that is to do with either a projection of a HARP beam, or it could be a black chemtrail. But look, okay, it's quite noticeable. Look, you got the trail here, and you got the big shadow. Okay, but it is a shadow, really. Okay, here's a video of it. Look. There you go. Oh my god, I tell you what, when you 420, your mouth becomes like a hooker's asshole. Terrible. I really get into like fizzy water. It's really good. So yeah, as you can see, you've got the black line going all the way through. Excuse me. So I thought, well, I'll tell you what, as one films the skies 24/7, I thought, well, let's pop the time-lapse video. Okay. Which is right here. And let's go to the exact part where we see that. Oh, you too. It's over here somewhere. Okay, right. Now have a look at this. Just to confirm, don't believe everything you hear online, especially on X, especially concerned citizens saying that this is a black chemtrail. It's not. Look, I'm going to tell you exactly. Right. So when you pay attention to the bottom right here, see my cursor right there? Let's go back. Okay, now you see the line coming up. All right, see that? So here it comes at the bottom right here. Have a look. There it is. And you can see the shadow, and it's the same movement as the clouds. Look. And the reason why it's doing that is because that trail that's been persisted right there is right on the angle of the sun. Oh, for Christ's sake, go away. So the sun is basically right. It's behind the trail, and it's literally as the sun. This is when the sun is actually going down. The sun is hit bang right on vertical where that basically vertical line of that trail is, and it's producing a shadow, and that's all it is. Because people say, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, no, film the skies, have a little look. It's the trail itself is, even the line itself is completely off-centered. Look, it goes off-center first. There it goes. And you can see it moving, okay? So it's not a black chemtrail, look, okay? And then it dissipates. It's because the trail was moved out of view. And I just want to put that point across just to show you, look, just be careful what you're really consuming online, because a lot of people don't know. Like, typical example, like that guy who filmed himself filming the sky and all that. These people don't know how a cloud is formed. They don't know the basics of meteorology. Look, listen, guys, look, old books. It's three of them right here: 1986, 1943, and 1944, and it's all detailing cloud formations, how clouds are formed. It's the same science that it is today. Okay. Yes, there are clouds that are exactly the same that people say that are, like, for instance, like HAARP clouds. I can bring out a HAARP cloud right now. Boom, right there from 1944. Do you see what I mean? It's like people would say, if I show that now, people say, oh, that's definitely HAARP clouds. It's like, no, this is from a book from 1944. London, Her Majesty's Statutory Office, 1944. There we go, cloud formations. Look. Okay. Do you see what I mean? It's just do a bit of research, and don't be afraid to be like, oh, I don't want to put that forward because my friends believe in HAARP clouds. And if I show that, it says, look, actually, these clouds are actually natural, they go like, they might not think I'm a believer anymore. Do you know what I mean? Say it like it is. If you see bullshit or something that goes against the norm, you got to say, look at this, just saying. But I'm not saying that HAARP clouds can be produced like that, the ripple effects, but have some science to back that up, before you point your camera up into the sky and you see a little ripple and going, oh, they're putting HAARP beams around my area. It's like, okay, why are they doing it? Is it going to affect the weather? Do you know what I mean? Is it really going to affect the area of weather around you because of these HAARP clouds? Do you know what I mean? It's just stuff like that. I'm blabbering on. I do apologize. But yeah, thanks, guys, for turning up today. 32 people that rocked up. I do appreciate it. And all the people on Rumble. How many people got on Rumble? Shall we have a look? Could I actually bring myself up? I could do that, couldn't I? Let's have a look. 5 people watching. Hello, 5 people on Rumble. How's it all going? And please hit 91 people. No way. No way. Rumble, I've had 91 people watch live. That's pretty good, isn't it? That's pretty good. Yeah, watch this. Look. Fucking twat waffle on screen. Right. Hey, say hi, Nick. Anyway. What am I doing? 420 too hard. I'm talking shit. Right, let's end the stream now. Right, fantastic. So yeah, next week will be all about German flying saucers. Might be a part 2 of publications. I've got AI sorted out, so I don't have to do any reading. Thank God for that. Might add a bit of Vladimir Kaczynski, and if we've got time, we do a pub quiz as well. I fucked up on a few answers, I have to admit. So that one don't count, or I'll go through and anyone who actually got the answer right that I put wrong, I'll put the point into the next quiz. So I'm not, when we do a pub quiz, it's not gonna be like the whole episode. It'd be like 10 questions instead of 20, you know, so I'll still add the UFO stuff in there to keep you amused and all that. And it's just, as you're in chat, something to do, basically. So yeah. But I've enjoyed the show, and I hope you enjoyed the show as well. I definitely enjoyed myself, and I hope you enjoyed the unboxing of this, the Aztec UFO crash in 1948. So I'm going to be reading through this book in great detail and trying to find at least some decent information that I can put forward. Like I said, this book is not online, and I'm going to do my best that I can to put some light into this case. We are dealing with that guy at the bottom there, Rendell Stevens, which is dealt with Billy Meyer. Okay, so it's like, you know, but nevertheless, I have an extremely rare book at a decent price, which normally would be quite expensive, you know, as you've seen from the eBay listings, to my collection. So yeah, what? No, I'm gonna kiss it. Fingers that have been on that. Terrible. Right, let's sort that out. Everything is like tipping over. I need to get a new bookcase out. It's absolutely terrible. So yeah, thanks guys. It's a pleasure as always, and it's because of you as well I keep doing this. Honestly, it's yeah. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. Put it that way. I do get enjoyment out of it. It's been taking a while to get my foot in now, and now I can actually really like relax, do a bit of 420, you know, interact with you guys, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. I shouldn't be so hard on myself, like people say. But let's go through chat. Rebecca, thanks for being here. I'm free, not in a gay way, for next week. I see everyone in chat has a great sense of humor. One True Saxon, man, nice to see you, buddy. Rotary, thanks for being here. Pleasure as always, and thank you for the £5. That is much appreciated. Sheep Pop, Ant Woodward, Corbell's Cats, Rebecca again. Right, anyone in chat who hadn't said goodbye? John Stokes, come say goodbye now because we're end the show. I could play some of that music. I've got outro music somewhere. Where is it too? Do that. Okay, right, that's it. We're gonna end the show right there. Yeah, back next week 9 o'clock, talking about some German flying saucers, and yeah, have a good weekend, and until next time, you must always remember. Oh, Nathan, the Quadrant Show, thanks for being here, buddy. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Rotary Motion, do appreciate it. Is that going to go again, the music? Wait for it. Don't have to click the button again. Thank you. Right, that's it. I'm gonna end it right there. Yeah, Edward Ward, Rebecca, One True Saxon, Nathan Quantum Show, Sheep Pop Pop, John Strokes, and Rebecca Rotary. That's it. Right, I shall see you all next week. Until next time, always remember, and watching you, watching us, watching them. Oh, for fuck's sake. What do I click? I clicked something. All right, I have to switch that off so I can do this. Right, everyone, have a good weekend, and I'll see you next Friday. And especially you, Science Evidence Fringe. Thanks for being here. Right.